Yes.
My turn.
Why do you try to hold on to self-confidence? You guys, I hope you're thinking about this stuff, because if not, you're going to end up in the slaughterhouse with Alex. Because the devil is not playing around, and this year you have to work on yourself. You really do have to do the work. Yes.
I try to hold on to it because that's how I've always been. That's how I grew up. I wasn't even taught to me, but I always just had this, I've always had this impression. What I'm trying to say is I've always thought of myself as someone that could do anything. Like I never really, I'll see a mechanic, and I never thought that they had some special knowledge. That's why I YouTube everything. I do everything me. I fix my own car. I do everything.
Right.
I've always thought that I can do anything if I just put the work in, and so I've kind of just grown up like that, with like a habit of thinking that I can do anything. So I built myself up like that, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And so that's how I've always thought. That's why I think that's why I try to hold on to it. And I've even found myself getting good at some of those things. And then I have like this confidence in that. Like, I don't know, whatever. Like I cooked for many years, and like as a job, I mean, I cooked as a cook. And so I got good at that, and I had like a confidence in that. But it's not a confidence that lasted, because a social situation or a thought could just shake me.
Yeah.
But that's how I've built myself up. That's why I try to hold on.
And do you have self-confidence now?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Right.
And where do you get it from?
From a feeling.
What?
From a feeling.
And what does the self-confidence feeling feel like?
Feels good. It just feels like I got it. Like it feels like I'm fine. Like I know the answer. I can do the thing. I have the skill.
And do you hold on to that?
Well, now that you ask me like this, not so much really lately, but
why don't you hold on to it if it's feel good?
Because I know it's false. I know it's false because
I see.
I know that now, and that's why I try not to hold on to it.
Oh, okay. So you don't have it anymore?
No, I still do have that false kind of self-confidence that I was just talking about.
Right.
If that's what we're talking about.
And why do you hold on to that?
I try not to, but it's just...
It sticks.
It just sticks. You know, I built myself up like that my whole life.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And what would happen if you let it go?
I think it would be scary for a while, but it would be fine after.
You think it would be scary to let the confidence go?
Like it would be painful and scary for a while, but I think I might survive it. I think I might be fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I understand. I totally understand what you're saying. Amazing. Okay. Had you thought about this beforehand?
I have, yeah. And I mean, I could go on, honestly. I'm not trying to hog the mic, but like I was just saying, I found myself getting good at some things, right? And then I would find a confidence in that. But I would also find myself, like I'd have this confidence in this, like, in this micro sense, where in this thing or in that situation. But if I were to step back and look at my life, it's like, why haven't I been able to make life work?
Right.
So I've always known it's a false confidence. And
so you have confidence with practical things, like working on your car and doing physical things, but do you have self-confidence within?
I may not even know what you mean by that, to be honest.
Oh,
because
okay.
I have, I have now like a sort of, it feels like I have like a safety net. I don't know how to explain it any other way than that, because I feel like I can't go back. And what I'm talking about now is the spiritual stuff. I'm talking about inner spiritual stuff. And I've seen that really nothing is a big deal. Like I really feel like that. I really believe that. And so that to me is a sort of confidence. But then there's other things like a self-confidence. When you say that word, other things come to mind. And that's a behavior and an attitude. And that's not something I have at all times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And why not?
Since examining myself, I think it's come from, it's what we talk about. It's what we talk about. The thoughts, I was going to say freaking. Sorry, James. The freaking thoughts. Sorry, kids. And I noticed the other day too, just this week, and I've been noticing this, to be honest, but I really saw it, how there was this moment, I don't want to say too much, but there was this moment I was sitting alone, and I had this moment, and I'll just say this about it. In that moment, I had this like fear come over me.
You had what?
I had this fear come over me.
Yeah.
And this fear made me want to, and it told me to do something about it. And in that moment, I saw almost like all the past fears that I had, like all my life.
Yeah.
And I realized that I've been like motivated by fear. That it's like, I'll just wait, I'll just be chilling, and I'll be like, let things go, laissez-faire with life until it's like something makes me scared. It's like, now I have to do something.
Interesting.
So, I mean, I can go on, honestly.
Amazing.
I think, though, your question, though, has been really interesting this week, because, and this is how it is with every question for me. It's almost like I don't answer these questions to sound good or smart. I just realize how messed up life is and me. And I think in that realizing, something's happening. Something good is happening.
The one thing I realized about life is that we really don't have any problems at all. In reality, we don't have problems. And in that fallen state, what we do is we keep repeating the same thing over and over again. You know, you get a divorce because you and your wife fought all the time, always fighting and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, I'm getting rid of this woman. This is not working. Or the lady said, I'm getting rid of this man. We fight too much. We argue too much. This is not going to work. And you would think that they would learn a lesson in that situation, but they don't learn the lesson. This is too much problem. I'm not doing this again. But they'll go right out and marry somebody else and have the same problem. Happens over again. If you really look at your life, if you really pay attention to your life, all you're doing is repeating the same thing. That's all. It's like you don't see what's going on, so you don't let one thing happen and be done. But because you don't see what's going on, you go into another situation. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Have anybody noticed that about their lives? Yes. Isn't that crazy? And then the devil tell you, that's what made me think about what Nick just said, the devil tell you that, me or anyone, that you have problems. You need to solve these problems. And you're like, oh yeah, I do. And then you freak out, you get afraid. And then you tell yourself, I would never do this again. Lord, help me out of this problem. I would never do this again. But as soon as that is over, you just go and repeat it in something else. Have you ever questioned yourself about that? Why do I keep doing the same thing over and over again? Instead of just learning from it and be done with problems. But they repeat the same, that's because the devil tell you, you listen to thoughts, and the devil telling you, well, the next person will be better. The next situation will be better. You know, and you end up not seeing what you're doing, and you get into the same thing. Ain't that crazy?
I just did that last night.
Yeah, it's so insane.